Okay, good morning. Welcome to Yeshiva YouTube, Iyun with Benzion. Today's daf is Nedarim, daf mem number 40. As I mentioned today, we're talking about Bikur Cholim. Um, it's a very interesting story the Gemara starts off with. The bottom, the last words, Lamed Ted Amud Beis, Rav Chelbo Chalash. Now, first of all, it says the word Chalash. A lot of times in the Gemara, instead of using the word Chala to get sick, Chalash got weak. Now, there has to be a distinction between them. Why does the Gemara use the word Chalash? The second interesting part about this is that Rav Kahana, I think it was Rav Kahana, you heard about this. He made an announcement. Rav Chelbo Boy, Rav Chelbo was sick. Lika de Kaasi, no one was coming to visit him. Now, it's hard for me to imagine Rav Chelbo, who was probably a big rabbi. Rav Chelbo. He had a shul, he had community members. If he didn't have a shul, he had Talmidim. He had people that were close to him. He had family members. No one was coming to visit him. Hard for me to imagine. And similarly, the Gemara records a story. Rabbi Akiva, he had a student who got sick. No one wanted to go visit him. Until Rabbi Akiva himself decided to go visit him. No one wanted to visit him. Rabbi Akiva saved his life, apparently. Why aren't people visiting him over here? So, as people know, there's two different types of ailments. You can have two broad categories. You could have physical ailments, physiological ailments that can be traced to a certain biological bacteria, a virus, um, heart condition or something like that, where an artery is blocked or something like that. Those are biological conditions. There's medicines to treat those. Um, there's vaccines you can give to prevent these types of diseases. And there's a whole different category, which I would call basically emotional illnesses: depression, anxiety, stress, OCD, maybe even autism. Autism falls into that category where you have emotional distress. Um, and the way of fixing that, there's different ways of fixing that: therapy, medication. There are psychiatric medications out there. Some of them help, some of them don't help. You have to find the right one if you're trying to figure out how to heal the person. It's not as simple as uh, biological medication. Pretty much everyone knows it's a new developing branch of science. It's not really talked about so much, and the reason that they weren't visited was because um, these topics were taboo. People don't visit someone who is mentally deranged or is in deep depression or has bipolar or something like that, because there's a taboo of associating with these people. So to me, that's why I didn't go visit him, because there was a taboo of associating with these people. Even to visit him when he's sick, you just stay away. That's the way people react. That's the natural reaction of people. Or maybe it's a communal thing of treating it as taboo. If it was taboo nowadays, certainly years ago it was even more taboo. So no one came to visit him until one brave person came to visit him, Rabbi Akiva, and he healed him. So this Gemara, obviously, Bikur Cholam doesn't just apply to people with depression or emotional issues. It applies obviously to people who are sick, who have strep, who has fever, of a virus, or something worse like pneumonia or heart condition. They need people to come visit them. Bikur Cholam applies in that case also, the mitzvah of Bikur Cholam. But as mentioned in the Gemara, there's two ways of helping a person who's sick. There's a physical way of helping him. Rabbi Akiva, um, you know, made the conditions in the room better. He swept the room. Now it's interesting. He swept the room, or he put water on the floor, and he made the room clean. Now, someone who's sick, he has a virus, he has a bad cold, or he's someone who has something like pneumonia. Because you sweep the room, that's going to help you. So obviously, the case of Rabbi Akiva is where it's an emotional thing. And a lot of times your emotions depend on, seeing things that are beautiful, seeing things that are nice, or in order, that helps you, it lifts your spirits. Seeing things that are worse. Seeing that his room was clean, it was sparkling clean in his room. That's what Rikiva did. He did sponja. People in Israel know what sponja is, in the floor, so it looked clean. So emotionally, it lifted his spirit. And that's what the Gemara is really talking about here. It could be the whole Gemara is talking about that. And the Gemara talks about, most of the Gemara is talking about one of the main ways of helping a sick person is not giving him medicine. It's davening for him. And precisely, I think it's the davening in front of him. And to daven in front of him, to the person should know emotionally that you care about the person. I care about you enough that I'm davening to God that he should heal you. And that's really helps a person emotionally. Yes, physical ailments really need to be treated with medicine. That's the best way of treating a physical ailment. You give the person the right medicine. Thank God today we know what the right medicine is for a lot of, bacteria, viruses. There's even antiviral, medicines for some viruses. COVID, there was supposedly, there's a vaccine, and there's, you know, there's a discussion of how you heal COVID, but, different methods. I'm not certifying any of them or saying any of them bad or good. I think the world is in favor of the vaccine. I got the vaccine 3 times. I stopped it 3 times. I think 3 is enough for me. Uh, but there's different ways of healing these different things, and physiological, biological diseases. That's not really the Gemara is talking about over here. The Gemara is talking about davening for somebody. Davening someone doesn't help someone who's physically has a physical ailment. I think the Gemara mostly is dealing with people that have emotional ailments and they're not feeling well or depressed, and to go ahead and encourage them and daven for them, as I mentioned yesterday in Iyun Benzion, about the additional aspect that Shmuel brings, emotionally giving someone hana, giving someone chizuk, encouragement when they're sick, specifically the person whose mood is down, um, someone who's depressed, someone who has anxiety. You calm them down, and to daven for them in their presence. I think the halacha is supposed to daven for them not in their presence. I think the halacha should be. It doesn't say clearly in the Gemara. The Gemara mentions many times you're supposed to daven for the person in this Gemara. So the davening is to encourage the person that you care about him. Like the Gemara says, to sit with him, to show them that you care, to show them that you're emotionally attached to him, emotionally invested in him. It lifts his spirits. It lifts the guy's spirits that he knows that people care about him. And that's really the way of offering the best type of help to a person with emotional illness. He's feeling down. You lift his spirits by coming and visiting him, by spending time with him and conversing with him and talking with him. So that really is Bikur Cholim. People don't understand. This is maybe even the main type of Bikur Cholim, because when someone has a physical ailment, right? He had a stroke. He had a heart attack. He's recovering, right? He had a surgery, some type of surgery or something like that. He broke his arm, broke his leg. You want to heal the person. He's in physical pain. It's nice that you have people to come, and sometimes also people, when they have physical illnesses, they get depressed also. But the main thing, Bikur Cholim, when you're visiting a sick person, you're helping him emotionally at that point. You're showing him that you care about him. You're showing him that he has support, and that helps him heal emotionally. Sometimes, usually when you have a physical illness, you also have emotional depression, or you don't feel well emotionally. So certainly when it's just an emotional illness, just a psychiatric illness, but a lot of times also when there's a physical illness, there's an emotional aspect, a big emotional aspect, and that's the main point of Bikur Cholim, is to show them that you care, to show them that you're there for them, and that heals a person emotionally. And I mentioned in the regular show, a lot of times people can die just from emotional sickness. A lot of times you have older couples that are married for many years, 50, 60 years. One of them passes away. The other one passes away within 2 or 3 months. There's no physical reason why they should die. They were in very good health conditions. However, they died because they just couldn't bear going on without their spouse. That was their whole life. That was their bedrock, their spouse. They can't go on. So a lot of times also when you get a physical illness, because you're physically sick for a while, it turns into a depression. And who knows what kills the person? Is it the physical illness or the emotional illness? We have to, obviously, now there's more focus and more acceptance of people with emotional illnesses. But that's really the Bikur Cholim, is that people with emotional illnesses don't take it for granted. And really that's the only way Bikur Cholim really helps person. It helps a lot more with an emotional illness, because that's what it does. It shows you that people care about you than a physical illness, which really is treated by medicine. Hope you enjoyed today's share. See you in the next one.